This is going to be your tall, kneeling, diaphragmatic breathing. I'm going to start off in a tall, kneeling position. If you have a soft surface, great. If not, you can use a foam pad here under the knees to give yourself a little cushion. Another nice piece of equipment to have is a foam roller. You can use a short foam roller that's going to go right between the legs. Really, the only cue that the foam roller does is helps to engage the adductors, the inner thigh muscles. In addition to that, it's going to help facilitate posterior pelvic tilt. Nice to have, but it's a necessity more than anything. If you don't have one, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. You can still do it without. But for demonstrative purposes, I'm going to show you with. Tall kneeling position, we're going to define that first. I'm going to start here on my knees. My toes are going to be spiked. My heels are going to be pointed outwards so that I can facilitate full grounding of all my toes. If my heels start to buck in, then I just have my big toe connected. Really, the rest of my toes are just kind of along for the ride. So I want them engaged. I want them to be contributors here. So I'm going to turn my heels outward to feel all those toes engaged. That's where something nice like the foam roller can go between the legs. It's going to help further facilitate that, because when you squeeze your thighs inward, the heels turn outward, keep the toes contacted. From here, you want to make sure you have a posterior pelvic tilt. So think of it like you have an imaginary tail. Tuck the tail between your legs is the idea here. Squeeze the thighs, that's going to lock that in place. Now, I want to make sure I'm in a nice upright position. I have hip extension. So my glutes are squeezing. When I squeeze my glutes, I squeeze my inner thighs. And I want to make sure I'm not compensating and arching through the lumbar and the low back and creating low back compression. So ribs are pulled down, hips are extended, toes are grounded, inner thighs are active. Nice and long through the torso, integrating diaphragmatic breathing. We'll get to that in a second. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. I'm nice and long through my head. Think of it like you're wearing a crown of missiles. Shooting the missiles into forever is the idea here. So grow length through the spine. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Now facing you here, I'm going to focus on my diaphragmatic breath next. So make sure that foam roller, by the way, is going to be high into the thighs. We don't want it between the knees here, because now we can kind of go past it and just have it there for no reason. So everything in its place. We're going to place this high into the thighs, squeeze the thighs, turn the heels outward, continue to engage that posterior pelvic tilt, nice and long through the spine. I'm going to make L's with my hands and place them right into my waist. I can have the index and middle finger kind of cradle over forward. And now from here, I want to use the squeeze of my hands to help facilitate and feel the breath. So as I inhale, I should feel lateral or outward expansion of my hands. And that's how I know the diaphragm is accessing at least down into my abdominal wall. If I feel pressure pushing out against my index and middle finger, I'm then even getting into pelvic floor, because breath is descending downwards into the pelvic bowl. So I'm here in this position, hands into my waist. From here, nice and relaxed through the shoulders, nice and long through the spine. Take that breath down into the belly. So I don't want to have a secondary breathing technique where I'm just breathing through my chest and I'm just rising through my chest. So this is why you want to have a nice good grip on the waist, squeezing the foam roller, and then from here, push the breath down. In through the nose. Now, all of that not to say that we're not going to get any breath into our chest, but the main emphasis here is diaphragm descends down into the belly, down into pelvic floor, and on the top end of the breath, you get a little chest expansion, but it should not just be exclusively chest and shoulder expansion is the idea here. And that's going to be your tall kneeling diaphragmatic breathing.